I have a question.
Where are you from?
I'm from India.
From India.
Yes.
I see. Go ahead.
I have a question about metta.
Okay.
When I practice metta meditation, I always feel it's not enough. So I have kind of greed for more metta or more compassion. So can you talk a little bit about compassion and metta and compassion?
Metta and compassion is love. Metta actually means friendliness, being friendly, being kind, being friendly. Look at everybody as your friend, not your enemy. Compassion is being empathy, seeing other people in need. You want to help them. You want to help them get rid of their suffering. It's called compassion. And the way to do it is not to meditate. When you meditate, you are just teaching yourself, reminding yourself that you have to be friendly and compassionate. The actual doing is when you're meeting people. When you see a beggar and you say you want to be compassionate, you give him some money. When you see an old person walking on the street and needs some help, you help that person. This is showing your kindness, your friendliness. Then when you do this, then you will feel the result from your compassion and your friendliness. You have to do the action, not just to think about it. When you meditate, you're just reminding yourself that you have to be friendly, you have to be compassionate. But you have to actually do it when you're meeting people or animals. When you see a dog, you don't kick it, You want to be kind to all beings. So when you have the action, then you will get the results. By just thinking about it doesn't have any action yet. But you need to think ahead of time so that you can be reminded that you have to be kind and friendly. So when you meet people, you smile at them. You don't give a stone face. Because when you smile, people feel better, right, by seeing your smile. This is already giving friendliness or metta. And if you see the person needs something, then you give that person something. This is compassion.
Well, I try to share Dhamma with my friends because I read in Buddha, Sabba Dhanam Dhamma Dhanam Jinati. But I do a lot of Dhamma teachings and try to share whatever little thing I can, but I always feel it's not enough. So what should I do? I always feel it's not enough.
Not enough for you or not enough for the person you give?
For me and for them, for the people.
You just have to give more. That's all. If it's not enough, then give more. If you give 1,000 baht and you feel it's not enough, give 10,000 baht.
The problem is I don't have resources to give. That's my problem.
Well, give all you can. Then you will feel good. Yeah. So this is cause and results, cause and effects. If you want more, you have to give more. Just imagine if you're giving 1,000 baht and 10,000 baht, how would you feel? It would be different, right? Because you have to give more, you have to give up more. But you feel happier because you feel that you have done a lot more. So this is just basic. If you don't feel you don't have enough yet, give more. You can give until you can no longer give. And give to the person that make you feel really good. Because sometimes you give to some person that you don't like, you don't feel that good feeling. So in giving charity, you can choose the kind of charity you want to do. Some people like giving to school, so you go to school. Some people like giving to churches, they go to church or temples. Some people like to give to hospitals, they go to hospitals. So this is a matter of choice, you can choose. Because we have different preferences. So you do the kind of charity that makes you feel good, feel the best.
Sorry, one more.
Go ahead, no problem.
In Mahayana tradition, they talk about Maha-compassion, the great compassion. How does that differ from what we practice in Metta or Karuna?
The great compassion is only practiced by the Buddha and his noble disciple. giving the real Dhamma, the Dhamma that really will take effect upon the heart of the people who listen to this Dhamma. And they don't charge you any money. See, the Buddha gave Dhamma talk 3 times a day. Once in the afternoon he gave it to the lay people. Then at night he gave it to the monks. And then late at night, before he go to sleep, he gave a talk to the divine beings, the devatas. This is his normal daily routine. And no one can give Dhamma like the Buddha can. Because his Dhamma can make people become totally free from suffering. For us, all we could do is give money or give material things to alleviate or get rid of the physical suffering. But we could not get rid of the mental suffering that people have, because we don't know how to do it ourselves. See? But with the Buddha and his noble disciple, they know how to get rid of the mental suffering. And the mental suffering is a lot more important than the physical suffering. Physical suffering is only temporary when you're living. But when you die, then this physical suffering is gone, right? But mental suffering is forever, because the mind never dies. So this is what they meant by the great compassion. This can only be done by the Buddha, by the enlightened people, because they know how to get rid of this mental suffering, this eternal suffering that we are going through right now.
So Mahat doesn't matter whether you give 10,000 baht or 1,000 baht. It's not measured by the quantity you give, but it's more of the Buddha's mind, right?
Yeah, well, in terms of the result that you can deliver to that person. See, for us, we can deliver the physical release from suffering, but we cannot deliver the release from the mental suffering. But with the Buddha, he could do the release us from the mental suffering. So this is why it's great, because our mental suffering is so great. Like I mentioned earlier, that we've been going through these rounds of rebirth countless of times. The number of births that we have been born is, we cannot count them. We can only imagine them by imagining the number of, the amount of tears that we shed in our lifetime. And if we can collect them every lifetime, the Buddha said that the tears that we shed is more than the water in the ocean. So that's how much suffering we have. And no one could help us to get rid of this suffering. Only the Buddha and his noble disciple can. So this is what they mean by the great compassion. Okay, no more questions.
Plenty of questions.
You can ask. I also have books in English. My Dhamma talk. You can go and pick them up over there.
Okay.
It's put on a shelf. You can browse. There's several books. So if you like to pick them up, and you are welcome.
Sure.
It's for free distribution. Okay. And if you still want to ask some more questions, you're welcome to. Any more questions?
I wanted to know more something about your life.
There's a book that my yeah, I have it's a book called My Way. That's about my biography. So you can read it. It's much more detailed than telling you now.
So how many years you've been a monk? Just a quick question.
Since 1975. 42 years.
42 years.
Yeah, 42 years. Yeah.
So in 42 years, if I might ask you the journey of 42 years in one sentence, what would be that?
What would be the journey?
What would be the journey for 42 years of your spiritual journey?
Peace.
Okay.
Peace of mind. That's the goal of this journey, is to get to peace of mind.
Did you ever get frustrated on the way of your practice?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Do you still get frustrated sometimes?
Hardly.
Okay.
Because there's nothing I want. You only get frustrated when you want something and you cannot get it. So if you can stop your want, then if you can stop your wanting, then there is no frustration.
But what about the one for enlightenment?
Oh, you don't. If you want it and you cannot get it, then you become frustrated. So if you know you cannot get it, then don't want it. Then you won't become frustrated.
And that's our problem. We want enlightenment. That's our frustration.
No, your problem is you don't know how to stop your wanting. Because once you can stop your wanting, then you become enlightened. Enlightened is to see that the problem is your want, your desire, your cravings. See? So once you know that your frustration comes from your desire, then stop your desire. Once you stop your desire, you have no frustration, you become enlightened.
But some people, they say that you have to have a desire for enlightenment, otherwise how will you practice?
Huh?
Same
Right.
question. My friend from America, we discuss about this and how come Buddhism asks you not to desire, but
Right.
you have to desire to enlighten.
Yes, that's the first step you have to have, the desire to become enlightened. Once you have this desire, then you go seek someone who is enlightened to tell you how to do it. And when you find that enlightened person, then he'll tell you to stop your desire. So stop your desire, even for your enlightenment. Because when you stop your desire for enlightenment, you will become enlightened. So you don't know this, see.
Do you think that today in Thailand or Burma, Sri Lanka, there are still enlightened monks?
At least I know in Thailand, for sure. There are still, these monks that you see, these pictures, they are enlightened monks. Because after their death, their bone turns into relics.
So that's the yardstick to measure whether they're enlightened or not?
Yeah, one of the yardstick. The other one, if they're still alive, is to learn from them. If you study with them and then you apply their teaching in your practice, and then yourself become enlightened, then you know that he's enlightened also. Like people found out that the Buddha was enlightened when they studied with the Buddha. And after they studied and then follow his teaching, then they became enlightened. So this noble disciple know that the Buddha must have been enlightened. So there are two ways. One, after their death, when they die, then you wait to see if some of the bone, not all of them, some fragments of the bone will become relics. They become like stone. Or you study with them and practice, and you become enlightened yourself.
Are you enlightened?
Well, I am. I can see right now. I can see everything, just like you are.